Hi there, welcome to another video. In this video I'm going to explain to you how to solve quadratic equations using a different method, namely that of the quadratic formula. Okay, I'm going to start off by posing you this first question. Solve the quadratic equation x squared plus 7x plus 10 equals 0 is the answers A, B, C, D, E or F. Now, this follows on from my last video about factorising quadratics to try and solve quadratic equations. Let's have a go at doing that first of all, because usually that is quite an easy method. So let's have a go and see if we can do it. We're going to try and factorise this first of all. So we want two numbers that multiply to 10 and add to 7. Having to think about it, the two numbers must be 2 and 5. So this quadratic expression on the left hand side factorises to x plus 2, x plus 5, and that's equal to 0. We've got two expressions multiplied together equaling 0, so either the first expression is 0 or the second expression is 0, which leads us to the answers x is minus 2 or x is minus 5. Again, in the exam, we would substitute these numbers back into the original and check they equal 0. Therefore, x is minus 2 or minus 5, the answer is B in this case. Very good, very simple approach, very effective way of solving quadratic equations. Have a look at the next example, please. Let's have a go at doing the same thing. We'll try and factorise, we'll try and make each bracket equal 0, and we'll try and get our solutions. Right, x squared plus 20x plus 10 equals 0. I need to think of two numbers that multiply to 10 and add to 20. Two numbers that multiply to 10 and add to 20. What times is to 10? 1 and 10. They can never add to 20. 2 and 5. They can never add to 20. And 5 and 10 and 5 and 2 and 10 and 1. But none of these can add to 20, so I'm a bit stuck here. I can't actually factorise this quadratic to use the factorising approach. So I'm afraid at this stage the answer is, I don't know what the answer is in this case. Okay, just for these particular cases, I've got a new method to solve quadratic equations. And it looks like something like this. It's called the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula finds for you the solutions to a quadratic equation in every single case. In cases where you could have factorised, in cases where you can't factorise. They even, later on in maths, something you might learn in your A-levels, find it in cases where x isn't even a number on the number line, isn't a real number. So the quadratic formula is immensely powerful. Let's just briefly describe what it's saying. If you've got a quadratic equation of the form a, some number times x squared, plus b, some number times x, plus c, just a number, and that is equal to 0. For example, let's say 3x squared plus 9x plus 1. If you've got a quadratic such as that, where in this case a is 3, b is 9 and c is 1, you can find your x by substituting your a, b and c into this what looks like quite a nasty formula, and you can find your two solutions. Do note, because there is a plus or minus square root here, one of the x answers, x1, will be when you take the positive square root, and x2 will be where you take the negative square root and work it out. Looks a bit confusing at first. I will show you a very easy method of applying this formula, and I will try and also show you a method to try and remember it. Here is a method to try and remember it. I'm afraid it's a song. I'm going to try and show you, sing a song for you. I'll do anything so the students learn. I'm not a great singer, but I'm prepared to do it as long as you learn this formula. And it goes to the music of Pop Goes the Weasel. Here we go. Okay, ready? The quadratic formula is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So please forgive the voice there, but you'll be surprised, this will help you remember the quadratic formula. So the quadratic formula is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, and here is the formula here. So hopefully that bad singing and that annoying tune will keep that formula in your head. Now, more importantly though, moving on from the bit of silliness, we need to apply the formula and get the right answer in all cases. Here are 3 examples where we're going to do that, and I'm going to show you exactly what I need you to do to find the correct answer all the time. Okay, example 1. We've got a quadratic equal to 0. It's of the right form. ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. A is 3, b is 5, and c is 1. The very first thing we do is write our a, b, and c. A is 3, b is 5, and c is 1. The next thing we do, we are always, this expression underneath the square root, b squared minus 4ac, it's got a very important name in maths that you'll learn more about later on. It's called the discriminant, but this b squared minus 4 times a times c, we're going to work it out. When you're substituting, always substitute using brackets. So b is 5. We're going to work out 5 squared. So put your 5 in brackets and square it. You're going to subtract 4, keep that in brackets, times a is 3, times c is 1, and you're going to work this out. Well, b squared, 5 squared is 25, 4 times 3 is 12, 12 times 1 is 12. So you're going to get 25, take away the second number, which is 12, and the answer is 13. So this thing underneath the square root, b squared minus 4ac, which I said was called the discriminant, is equal to 13. Then I'm going to square root it just to make substitution easier. The square root of b squared minus 4ac is therefore the square root of 13. Okay, we've worked out this bit in the quadratic formula. Now I'm going to substitute my b and a into the rest to find out my x's. So x is equal to negative b, so negative 5. Let's take the positive answer first, plus the square root of b squared minus 4ac is the square root of 13, all divided by 2 times a. Well, a is 3, so that is all divided by 6. What's my other answer? Well, it's almost the same, but you've got your minus b, which is minus 5. This time you take the negative square root, so you have the negative square root of 13 all over 6. Now, you can work this out on a calculator. Actually type in minus 5 plus root 13 all divided by 6, and the same for the other x answer to get the decimal values for these solutions. In some exams they ask you for that. I'm going to leave them as surds for now, but you can work them out as decimals, and the later activity will actually ask you to work them out to 2 decimal places. Okay, let's do example 2. What was step 1 again? Oh yeah, write my a, b and c. I've got one lot of x squared here, so a is 1, b is 7, and c is 3. Very first line always. Then I'm always going to work out this discriminant, this b squared minus 4ac. Substitute using brackets. 7 squared, b is 7, minus the 4 in brackets, a is 1, and c is 3. 7 squared is 49. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12, so you've got to subtract 12. 49 take away 12 is 37. The last thing I'm going to do is actually square root it, so everything's ready to substitute in at the end. So the square root of b squared minus 4ac is simply the square root of 37. Okay, very close now. Just substitute my b and an a into the rest of the formula, taking firstly the positive solution, then the negative. We've got the two x's. X is equal to minus b, which is minus 7. Take the positive square root plus root 37, all divided by 2a, which is 2 times 1, which is 2. The second x answer is almost exactly the same, minus b, but this time subtract the square root of 37, all divided by 2 times a, which again is 2. Very easy to apply this formula. Again, you could work these out with decimals. Okay, last one. Let's do the last one again. First step, 7x squared plus x minus 3. Let's write down our a, b, and c. A is 7, b is 1, c is negative 3. Work out b squared minus 4ac, which is 1 squared minus 4 times 7 times minus 3. 1 squared is 1. 4 times 7 is 28. 28 times minus 3. So 28 times 3 in general is 84, but it's a minus. So it's going to be 1 minus 84. So 1 minus 84, 2 negatives become a plus, so you get 85. Like I said, take the square root of this. The square root of b squared minus 4ac is therefore the square root of 85. And let's substitute our a and our b into the final quadratic formula, taking the plus then the minus to get the two answers. X is minus b, which is minus 1, plus the square root of 85, all over 2 times a, which is 14, and the other one is x equals minus 1 minus the square root of 85, all divided by 14. Again, you could type that into your calculator and work out the decimal answers. Hopefully that's helped you. Very clearly laying out your steps here will always guarantee you to get the right answer. If you try and substitute straight in, I guarantee you there will be mistakes and it goes horribly wrong. So do it in this very logical process. Work out your discriminant, square root it, then substitute in to get your x, one with the plus square root, one with the minus square root. Okay, I'd like you to have a go at these questions yourself. I'd like you to then tap in the third answers in your calculator and round to 2 decimal places. I'll pause here for 5 seconds and then give you the answers. And the answers to these are as follows.